Ever been to London? Consider going? But before you do, I have some really great tips to provide to you. Hi guys, I'm Fly Girl TW with Anywhere But Here. Anywhere But Here, all things travel, and this episode is all London. It's all about London tips. So immediately following the break, I'll get started with some of the things that I think might be beneficial to you before you fly to my favorite place in the world, London. So, welcome back to the show. Again, I am Fly Girl TW, your travel guide for Anywhere But Here, and this is All Things Travel. This series, guys, is all about me providing you with everything travel related, kind of a potpourri. The other series are more focused on specific things. This one is just about anything related to travel. So, London tips. Let's get started. Some I will provide to you are before you go, some are when you get there, but all of them are helpful. The first thing that I want to go over with you. So, prior to you leaving your bank, have a visit with them, why don't you? Let them know you're going to be gone and how long you're going to be gone for. Okay, very important. London uses the euro, so check the currency exchange rate prior to leaving. And if you're at the bank, why not just do it while you're there? If it is reasonable while you are there, go ahead and transfer some dollars or whatever country you're in, your currency, to the euro. I recommend that you exchange about $100, 100 US dollars, because when you get there, cash, so the US dollar is not accepted. I don't know whether other currency in other countries are accepted, but I can assure you that the US dollar is not accepted when you get there. So exchange about $100 to 100 pounds so that you'll be able to tip and to perhaps get you something really quick while you're there if you don't want to use your credit cards, okay? If you're at the bank and you find that the exchange rate is not reasonable, I don't want you to freak out or worry about it. I would still get about $30 to $50 transfer. When you arrive at Heathrow, then go ahead and exchange you some more. Check the exchange rate there and go ahead and exchange some more money. Because moving on to credit cards. There are two widely accepted credit cards, and that is MasterCard and Visa. Guess what? American Express is iffy. Some places do, some places don't. But Discover, forget about it. There are very few places that, first of all, have even heard of Discover. Or they say, oh, that's Diner's card. And it's not Diner's card. That was a million years ago, right? But they haven't really caught up in that area from a credit card standpoint. So MasterCard, Visa, definitely. American Express, sometimes. Check to see what kind of international purchase fees your bank charges. Sometimes, I know when I looked at my statements, there were fees for purchasing items or meals attached. And so I want you to make sure that you're aware of that prior to going. Is if you add those alerts for every single purchase to come to your mobile phone or perhaps to your tablet, and you check it when you get back to your hotel or wherever you're staying. Do that. It'll keep your money safe. Next up is some must-haves, and I just have a couple. You definitely want to have a dual wall charger adapter. keep in mind that when you're in the UK, the plugs, so the plugs in the wall are not the same. So you will need to have an adapter. Go ahead and get you a dual one because everyone has a cell phone and their tablet. Perhaps you've taken your laptop, so make sure that you get one that has dual. And I would recommend that you purchase two. You can get them at Amazon or any other place. I think mine was about $9.99. You can catch them on sale, but they are very necessary to make sure that you keep your electronic devices charged correctly. Pack appropriately, guys. The weather is iffy. Depending on what time you go, make sure that you have long pants or skirts, or if you're a girl, tights. Make sure that you have a couple different jackets. Maybe one that's lighter, maybe one that's a little bit heavier. If it's winter, gloves, hat, those kinds of things. So dress appropriately. They are more modest, so do what you want. But I wouldn't recommend, ladies, too short shorts and things like that, especially when you're going to palaces and castles and things like that. You want to make sure that you look appropriate when attending these kinds of tours. It's just really important for you to do that. It's proper etiquette. Make sure you have your camera or your camera phone. So that's why I'm mentioning keeping your phone charged. If you like to use a separate camera, make sure you have that. Make sure that it's ready to go. Don't forget your camera charger if you have one of those, and you'll be all. So, getting around. You have tons of options on how to get around in London. There's the bus. There's the train. There are black taxis and other colored taxis. And there's, of course, the tube. Now, with all of these different options, with the exclusion of the taxis, you would not believe that 4 million people use the London transit system on a daily basis. Now, guys, what you want to do is to download the Tube app as well as download Citymapper. Just go on Google or iTunes, and you'll be able to have that readily available on your cell phone or on your tablet if you plan on taking that when you're going on tours and things like that. You must get an Oyster card, and I recommend that you do that before you go. That is one less thing for you to worry about when you get there. So, get your Oyster card. Your Oyster card is good on the bus, the train. It's also great on the tube. The tube is about £2.40 per stop that you're going to. However, in the evening, that rate does increase. And there are some locations that you go to where the rate may be a little bit higher than £2.40. So keep that in mind. When using the tube, make sure that you have your Oyster card readily available. Do not have it in your purse or, zipped up in somewhere that you can't get to. And I say that because it is so busy and so congested. You will need to swipe it when entering and exiting. So ensure that you have it in a safe location, but that you can reach readily, like a front coat pocket or your front jean pocket or something like that. It's very important that you keep that readily available because you could get pushed over if you don't move fast enough, or someone could say something to you. So just make sure you have that accessible. Okay? Read the signs. At every single station, there are two platforms, platform 1 and platform 2. One will tell you how to get perhaps eastbound, and the next tell you how to get westbound. Just follow the signs. You can't go wrong, guys. It can be a little bit confusing when you're under and you're trying to connect to a different line. If you breathe, take a deep breath, and follow the signs, you'll be able to get where you need to go. Or they are very friendly people. You just need to ask and say, hey, can you direct me to that? Just become very familiar with the process, okay? I don't know how long you're going to be there. We were there for 10 nights, and food can be very expensive, and you might get hungry a little late at night or earlier in the morning before you want to jump out and go get breakfast. So find some accommodations that may have a mini fridge, and go to Whole Foods, because Whole Foods is there, and there's M&S Market, and it's Mark and Spencer Market, and you can purchase, what we did was we purchased wine, cheese, bread, crackers, those kinds of things, so that when we got hungry, we could just grab something and eat it. And we definitely did that later in the evening because we didn't keep late nights. But money saver on food, make sure you do that. Another money saver on food is if you're going to a restaurant, there depending on the weather, there's outdoor seating and there's indoor seating. If you sit outdoors, you will not be charged a courtesy fee. If you sit indoors, you may be charged a courtesy fee. What is that? Essentially, I'll break it down. It's a fee for you sitting inside. Okay, so you can ask them ahead of time if you're going to be charged a courtesy fee. It was only about 1 or 2 pounds. It wasn't too inconvenient, especially since we were there as a little cooler weather. So just something to keep in mind around saving money a little bit if that is an issue for you. Common and try to find what kind of sales or deals or coupons are available for you to use while you're there. Usually they have maybe 2 for 1 for theater if you're looking for theater, 2 for 1 meals, all kinds of discounts. So next tip is about accommodations. Try to make sure that your accommodations are near a tube station, maybe grocery stores, shopping. That way you don't have to venture too far from your hotel if you want to grab a quick bite or purchase something very creation. I also want you to take into consideration that hotel ratings are not the same as in the U.S. Okay, so a 4-star rating in the U.S. is a pretty darn good hotel. You know, the room size is standard or better than standard. The beds will probably be full or queen or king. But when you go to London, no idea that the rating was just quite different. And the easiest way I can explain it is this. It states, if in the U.S. you have a 4-star rating, consider in the U.K. or consider in London at the very least is a 2-star hotel. Okay. Some other apps or some apps that I want you to download, guys, are the City Mapper, the Tube. I think I mentioned if you're shopping for clothes, you can download one of the clothes ones for you. Currency Converter is very important. And then if you're going to like Chinatown or somewhere like that while in London, go ahead and download the Translator app. It can't hurt. You'll probably more than likely run into people who speak English, but just in case. From a religious standpoint, you can still worship. My mom participates in BSF, and she does it on a weekly basis, so Bible Study Fellowship. And she emailed someone in London and found that they have the same program there on the same day during the same time frame, and she was able to participate there with over 200 women. There's tons of churches, so research ahead of time or just pick a church when you're there and go and participate in their services so you won't miss out on that religious experience. The last thing is staying safe, guys. Londoners drive on the right, not the left. One of the things they do to make it easier is you just need to look down on the street and it will tell you whether to look right or to look left. When you go to the median, because they have that as well, it will also tell you to go right or go left and not jump and not run across the street because it's very dangerous, especially in a country that you aren't familiar with, okay? Keep your purse, your wallet, those things on the inside of your coats and jackets, not on the outside. We tend to get super excited and then we forget. And then other people who aren't up to good don't forget. And they steal everything that we've worked hard to bring when we are on vacation. So keep those things in safe places. I recommend on the inside and not the outside. Okay? And I think those are all the tips I have for you. That's all I can remember at this time. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of All Things Travel. I am Fly Girl TW for Anywhere But Here. And I will see you next time on All Things Travel. Thanks, guys, for your support. I appreciate it. Take care and always remember to fly high. See ya.